Okay, so this is just going to be part two, immediately preceding part one. Is that a mark on my head? No, I guess not. Okay, so I thought maybe breaking my train of thought in that particular moment was best for me because I was sort of going into a darker place, remembering my own past abuse. So that wasn't fun. Give me a second. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if you guys are necessarily hearing. I mean, I did turn up my tablet a bit, and my sound on my phone does seem pretty good. So I think you guys are going to be hearing this mostly. Again, um, you should actually just watch the interview also. But what Amber is about to do here is potentially a low-key masterclass in gaslighting. Um, if you don't have a previous history with abuse, whether it's being abused as a child or being in an abusive relationship, you might not understand the nuance. The fact that she's not very detailed, the fact that she's wishy-washy in her descriptors. I can still be rather clear about the person who attacked me when I was a child. Like, I don't know his legal name, but I knew what he went by. I remember his stupid fucking mustache. I remember how dark his eyes would always look to me. Um, I remember details. I don't know if it's in part due to the autism or but my recollection, my ability to recollect things is too good sometimes. And so it's almost like my brain is trying to go back there. Unfortunately, disassociation was not something that apparently little me decided to do. It would have been better. So, but she doesn't even use that sort of language either when she's talking about how she was attacked. She's just very vague throughout. It just, it's very much the girl who cried wolf. It's, and then during this, Mr. Snowflake then has bits of Casey's rebuttal video, and Casey is very specific, even talking about the sensations that might have been in the interview. But I remember Casey talking about at one point Amber grabbing his arm and the way the nails dug in and stuff like that. That's the sort of shit you remember. You might not remember every little fact, But especially with things like pain, they can become seared in memory. Especially how it made you feel. Just like, smells can trigger memories. Pain can too. It's an unfortunate thing, but it is what it is.
Feel very strongly about this, and I feel like it's okay for me to say her name because she's transgender now, so she's not Cassidy no longer. So I'm able to say her name because she's a once was person. Like, Cassidy is no longer here anymore, obviously. I'm not gonna say his new name because we're talking about her. Transgender talk is too confusing, so we're just gonna leave it as that. So
Then you shouldn't have used her name at all, because there was only him now. Shouldn't. No. You could have maybe used the pronouns and remained vague, but I know what you were doing, Amber. You wanted people to track Casey down. You wanted them to be upset that this happened to you, even though it didn't. You wanted them to track him down and attack him for you. You wanted people to pat you on the back. Oh, poor Amber. Our hearts bleed for you. When this shit didn't happen to you. And that makes me very upset. People who make false claims like this make me extremely upset. Because people have died for girls or guys making false accusations against other people. They've either self-checked out or they got hurt by somebody else when that shouldn't have happened at all. It's been happening more recently, in fact. And so, seriously, shame on fucking you for having done this at all. And the fact that you didn't apologize in your discussing of this, and the fact that you're basically maintaining that it still very much fucking happened, even if it's not his truth, fuck you. For real, fuck you.
After about, I want to say 6 months or so, things started, kind of changing and shifting. I don't really know if I want to, go into, grave detail. We still loved each other a lot. After 6 months, we'd been together for over 2 years, and we were living together, and this and that, and
I don't believe you've loved anyone other than yourself. Ever. I'm just saying that.
Notice we started arguing a little bit more. Just over stupid stuff. I can tell you that right now. I still remember the first time
It was probably stupid to you. Or if it was stupid to Casey, it was probably something that meant something to you. But especially when Casey's talking about the drawing incident, you probably considered that something stupid, didn't you? But you did that intentionally to hurt him, didn't you?
Ever got physical. We had a laundry room in the apartment complex we were living in, and we were walking to the laundry room, and I remember back then I would do our laundry for us. I didn't really like people touching my laundry. I still really don't, but I let Destiny do it because I trust her. But I had this weird thing with people touching my laundry. Whatever. So
well, that's not true, because we've got evidence of Amber not doing her own laundry.
Was that undies? Oh, baby. Crystal.
You even had mommy recently doing your laundry. Those were mommy's fingers putting the coins into the fucking machine for you. And why is it that you're so fucking clueless on how to use a machine, even when the directions are clearly on the machine? Like, dude, for real? I get that maybe you're playing stupid sometimes because apparently either you're a genius or you're... I'm sorry. I'm getting a little worked up here. But that's just because I feel strongly about the situation. I know that Amber has done nothing to me personally, but the fact that she has gone on to continuously hurt other people makes me upset. Because I actually am an empathic person. Just as much as cats tend to be. I have always felt very close to cats. And that I share a lot of traits with them. So, that was just a little bit of my feral coming out. I was getting growly and hissy. I apologize. But, you know, she had her mom bring her to the laundromat. She probably acted so effing clueless about even sorting her clothes. So she had mom do it every step of the way. You know, oh, Amber, you don't know how to sort your whites from your colored clothes. And, you know, you got to do that so, you know, they don't bleed onto your white stuff. Like, I can imagine that all happening. And, you know, she couldn't even plug the fucking quarters in. Dude, it'll tell you when you've put in enough quarters. I'm sorry.
Oh, is this the laundry? Oh, yeah. No, I didn't mean it like that. Crystal's the laundry machine. Sometimes I help her. You can put the kitchen towels right here and I'll put them in there. I do help.
Grabbing an already folded tea towel, by the way, and setting it next to the hamper of the clothes that will be folded doesn't count as helping.
Sometimes. She was upstairs folding laundry without me because laundry is her chore per se, minus like dishes and feeding the animals and stuff like that. So I like to do my own laundry. So I'm able to put it in the washer just fine. But Becky has to get it out of the washer for me. I can't, one, reach my arm in and bend down and grab my laundry because my stomach is in the way. I can't even do my own laundry fully by myself.
Even in recent
Invest in a
videos,
grabber.
we've seen Amber struggling to do her own laundry.
So I guess I pull out this little guy here, liquid only. Okay, there's like a little, this is liquid detergent. Okay, so I guess that goes in there. Oh my god, watch me just spill everywhere.
By the way, when you're watching this video, the clip that he's showing right now, she has the bottle of Gain opened ass backwards. There is a side that comes with a cup that comes off to help dispense the clothes washing soap, and a spigot that you push that will have it run out. There's another end that they use to put the soap in initially, and then there's a screw on top. She has that open to pour it into the thing. the measurement cup that is specifically used to help you like figure out how much you need for like if it's just a small load, a medium load, or a heavy soiled load, like it's right there on the other side of the. I'm sorry, that really bugs me because that feels like such an easy thing to figure out. That shouldn't be the issue it is.
Oh, there's like a little max level. Is there a place for me to put these guys? So it's set on normal. Okay. So should that just be it, you guys? I should just press start and call it a day.
I don't know. Why you asking me?
She was helping me carry, I guess, laundry to the laundry room. I don't remember really what we were arguing about. I want to say this happened, it's been like 6-7 years, so memories are kind of like fading here and there. But I do remember us being on the sidewalk, and I remember her dropping what was in her hands, and she took me by the throat, and she started yelling at me. I was like, what? And like...
You don't remember what she dropped? You don't remember what she was yelling? Nobody said anything? No cars stopped and honked their horn and someone yelled, "Hey, what are you doing?" Nothing like that? Come on. Come on. That story's bullshit. Total and complete bullshit.
I was like crying. Like she literally was having me by the throat, just like screaming at me. And then, she let go, obviously. And I think I was so shocked and so numb to the situation that I kind of just let it be. Honestly, that is the truth. She never really did that again.
Not the truth.
She would randomly like pinch me if I made her really mad. And I didn't even think anything of that then either. Honestly, I didn't at all. We've been together for about 3 years now at this point, and I feel myself slowly, I stopped being like sexually attracted to her. I loved her though. I know that. I don't know if it was like a best friend thing, but I stopped just feeling that like connection, I guess. So when it came to intimacy, I want to say about a little bit after like 2 years of being together, it started to dwindle. It was definitely my fault. This is when things got really bad.
So, she's not attracted to Casey, but is going online talking about strap-ons and boom bang-a-langing.
Ugh, I don't even know how to share this, but I'm gonna have to. Okay, so...
Yeah, seriously, everything you say on the internet kind of stays. And you can't say one thing and post another and not be called full of shit. So, Amber, you were full of shit. You were still very much attracted to Casey. But I think at that point, you were frustrated with him because this was probably about the point where he expressed that he, wanted to be a he. And, that shit you said to him, man. Look, I won't use Facebook posts. I'll tell you. If I could, I would smack the shit out of you for what you fucking said to him. Smack the shit out of you. But I'm disabled and I can't go anywhere. So, YouTube, if she does decide to, report that, I can't really do it. It's just me being aggressive because she's a terrible, terrible person.
Cassidy was very sexually strived. Like, is that even a thing? I don't know. She really thought I was attractive. She really was sexually attracted to me, and she always wanted to like have sex. She told me that the first time she ever met me in person, she did not find me attractive whatsoever. And I stopped feeling that for her.
No. Said you wanted to use a strap on?
Like, I didn't tell her that.
Exactly,
I would just, like,
Jimmy.
make up things
Exactly.
like, oh, I don't feel good, or oh, I'm on my period, like, even though I wasn't. And just little things like that. And it made her pissed. When you say no to someone, whether you've been with them for like a month or whether you've been with them for like 6 years, if you say no to a sexual act, your partner should accept that. That is where I firmly stand.
Wow, what a hot take. I think that's the law.
But she didn't. And she would literally sit there and beg me. At first, it was like cute little begs, like, oh, come on, baby, whatever. But then as time gradually went on, it became, you're gonna touch me whether you like it or not.
I fucking doubt that.
And I was like, you can't force me. And little did I know she can. That's when she started punching me a lot. She would aim for my belly. I don't think she ever actually hit me in the face.
Isn't that something you would remember?
Exactly.
Getting punched in the face.
Exactly.
Getting hit in the face.
I don't think she ever actually hit me in the face.
Why did she say, I don't think? You would remember, wouldn't you? I don't think.
Her favorite spot was my stomach. She would punch me really hard in my stomach. She'd punch me like around right here a lot. She would punch me on my arms. She would continuously do it until I agreed to make love to her or have sex, whatever you want to consider it. So not only
Bullshit.
was I being physically abused, but I was pretty much being like, that is what I consider it. It was such like a bad, just like a bad mixture of everything. And this would go on.
And if they were still living in the studio apartment where nobody had any fucking privacy, when was this going on, Amber? Huh? When was this going on? I don't fucking believe you.
This would happen probably weekly. God, here are the tears.
Where?
I was trying to be strong for this video. A lot of people would ask.
I fucking sobbed like a bitch the other week.
I leave her in that.
That's fucking crying.
Stance. I loved her. At the time, I was confused. I didn't love her like as a girlfriend. I just loved her as a person. We had such amazing times that I just felt like maybe one day she'll stop being like this. You know, maybe one day she'll stop forcing me to have sex with her. One day she'll stop hitting me. Not only was she hitting me because I wouldn't have sex with her, she was hitting me if I wouldn't do the dishes.
I don't believe I heard Casey say this, so I'm not gonna put words in Casey's mouth, but I would not be surprised if Casey actually said the story was reversed. I would not be surprised if Casey said that it was Amber who was the sexual aggressor and begged, cajoled, whatever, for the sex. It wouldn't surprise me in the least.
On time, she would push me up against counters, and one thing she never did was she never like called me names. Never. And I was like living in that like moment of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me type of thing. Where it's like, okay, hitting people, blah blah blah, but if like she started emotionally hurting me, then I should leave.
Now, Amber says Casey never called her names.
Usually, when it comes to patterns of abuse, and you can look this up for yourself, truly, honestly, verbal, mental, psychological abuse comes first, not physical, not sexual. So for her to claim otherwise is also just Big red flag for me. Big red flag. You're so full of shit.
There was no emotional abuse. However, Amber's clearly forgotten all the posts she's made on Ask FM. How did your partner abuse you in Arizona? She would punch me, slap me, scratch me, strangle me, abuse me with her words. Think of someone you dislike. Now try to think of at least one thing that is good/nice about them. I will not say who this person is because it is just easier that way. You never know who reads your things online. Lol, but I used to live with this person. They would do and say harsh things to me. They practically ruined a few years of my life, making me feel like I was scum of the earth. I would
Fuck
often sit in
you.
my tiny bedroom and just do nothing. Cry, gain weight, all because of this person.
You didn't have a bedroom.
Casey's fault. A weight gain. So there she says, they would do and say harsh things to me. This isn't me catching her out. This is Amber catching herself out.
I remember one time particular, I don't remember what the argument was. Her mom was in her room, very small apartment, so we were like arguing in whispers, like so she couldn't hear. But I'm pretty sure she got the gist of it because Cassidy started hitting me really hard. It was probably one of the worst ever. I was kind of just like, blocking myself, or at least trying to. And Cassidy's mom came in, and all she said is, "Cassidy, what are you doing?" And then walked away.
So now, not only does Amber want us to believe that she did her own laundry, which we know isn't true, but she wants us to believe that Nadine came into the room, saw this brutal beating going on, and said, "What are you doing?" And then just walked out. Maybe it happened like that. Maybe it didn't. Didn't.
The whole time I lived there, I really hoped there was a moment where Cassidy's mom would see. I thought maybe she'd be my hero and like somehow change the way Cassidy treated me. I thought maybe her and I would become closer because she saw I was in a relationship, because me and Cassidy's mom were never close. She didn't do anything about it. Oh yeah, to answer the question of like why didn't I ever hit her back? Because my brother used to hit me a lot when I was a teenager. He's strong. Like, he might be my little brother, but he's my big brother, And he would hit me a lot. That's just what he did. And he would emotionally fuck me up in the head. He did a lot. Like, I felt like my own brother hated me for a while there, but that's a whole other subject. But when he first started hitting me, I would hit him back for like self-defense. And it just made him more angry and more mad. And the punches got worse, the bruises got darker. And I didn't want that with Cassidy. I was scared. I was way too scared to hit back, so I never did.
Why does she sound like she's doing my calling in sick to work voice?
I can't come in for my shift. My bruises got darker.
I think what drew the line with me and Cassidy
Fucking
was
Jimmy.
her and her mom. This was like one of the worst nights in the world. Like, I can't even. Okay, Cassidy.
You can't even because it's not true.
She pushed me up against the counter. She got a knife and was throwing it in my face and saying she was gonna stab me. I was like, yeah, right. Like,
So now Amber wants us to believe that Casey, who's been punching Amber, scratching her, Amber with words, depending on what time of day you ask Amber. Now Casey's got a knife. Got a knife in front of Amber's face. And Amber doesn't seem too bothered. I'd be more concerned if this person who's been abused has a knife. I'd be really concerned.
and then she started.
Yeah. If there really was an abusive relationship going on and it was progressing, the fact that Casey picked up a knife, which I don't believe, Casey, not for a second, but in this hypothetical, I would have taken that for serious. Like, the second that knife got picked up, I would have been making my way out of that place and going to a police station, going to a shelter, not being there anymore. Full stop. So again, totally complete horse shit. Because we know she didn't do that. She stuck around until she found Crystal to then fucking attach to, like the fucking barnacle that she is.
Really hitting me like in my chest and kind of like in my boobs. Cassidy's mom came out and blamed it all on me. And then Cassidy's mom threw this like big clear ashtray right to my head.
Again, it's
Super rare or super random fucking factoid, by the way, about barnacles. Apparently, they have the longest penises in nature because they are living organisms. And so when they attach to something, they're kind of there. But then they have to reproduce with something that might be fucking distances away. So they have to get their shit over there. So yeah, I thought I'd throw that in for maybe a brief I don't know, change of tone for a moment. Because nature, right?
just, it's so strange. This traumatic thing of, well, it sounds traumatic, having an ashtray thrown off your head. It sounds like it really hurting, but the way Amber's describing it, it's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like it's a Laurel and Hardy sketch. It's just something comical, the way she, whoop, like what? I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, but that doesn't, I'm not getting genuine trauma from any of this.
Me neither.
It hurt so bad. And in that moment, I was like, why am I here? What am I doing? The only people who can feel this way and understand what I'm saying is people who have been in an abusive relationship. As much as like your boyfriend or your girlfriend will hit you.
Yep,
you
and
still
I know you
love
weren't in
them.
an abusive relationship. You were the
It's so
abuser.
unhealthy. And I just want to tell you guys from firsthand that if anyone emotionally hurts you, sexually hurts you, or physically hurts you, don't stand for it. Don't, because it ruins you. And through everything, like, you find it so hard to trust people, and it's so hard to open up, and you have this like guard up that could really just mess up your world. And
as we're seeing with Casey today, because of you.
I've actually seen better acting from Tommy Wiseau. Oh, hi, Casey. Is that a knife?
That was really good.
I'm actually upset.
yeah, I like my parents. Did I just choose a different outlet? You know?
Jimmy, with the way you're making me laugh, you're actually looking kind of hot to me. I'm just letting you know.
It's like my brother, he is an addict, but he chose drugs. Her and her mom. This was like one of the worst nights in the world. Like, I can't even. And I didn't want to talk about any of this. Oh my god, my mascara. Nobody, and I mean nobody, deserves to be hit by their boyfriend or girlfriend.
When she was talking about the pain that her mother gave her, there were real tears. Not a tear has rolled down her face talking about what happened between her and Casey. Even when she said, "Here come the tears," there was not one. Watch this for yourself, and you'll see. Not a fucking tear.
Her wife or husband, nobody. I have learned a lot being with Cassidy, and if you guys are wondering, yes, she is now a he, and it's been a long time, 6 years since I was with her, and we talk on Facebook here and there.
What?
we still chat
Yeah,
now and
such a
again.
horrible person, but we talk on
This is a
Facebook,
person,
guys.
apparently, who has beaten her, had a knife at her throat,
Fuck.
gamble with his words, maybe. Rita, all this horrible stuff, and we still chat now and again. And then Amber has the nerve to upload this video claiming I was. We still chat now and again on Facebook. Again, it doesn't sound like the actions of somebody who has gone through this ordeal, these years of.
Things are very different, and she regrets everything she did.
We still chat now and again. It's different. Yeah, it should be different. It's
No,
ridiculous.
Casey regrets the
insane.
relationship,
But
girl.
I'm kind of at that point where I might cry about it now,
You didn't even cry then?
but I've healed, and I'm stronger because of it, and I've learned because of it, and I just figured I'd share this story with you guys because that is a big part of my life that I went through. Me and Cassidy were together for 4 years before I was like, closing the door, I'm done. It does not matter at all that if we were in a relationship or that we're lesbian. She forced me. And a lot of people can question, how is that possible? It's very possible. It made me feel
Yes, it's
so, like,
possible
degrading and gross and grummy.
for women to sexually assault either men or other women. But Casey did not assault you in any form.
And I'm done. But I just figured I'd share this with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys.
I hope you enjoyed this video.
Yeah, I loved it. Hilarious.
Before I got into doing YouTube, I worked with vulnerable kids and adults, and I've heard quite a few stories similar to what Anna's telling here. And not once have I ever not believed anybody who's told me that type of stuff. Not once. It's never popped into my head that I should not believe this person. You're always left with, I don't know, lump in your throat or a bit teary. You go home thinking about it. But when I'm listening to this story from Amber, it's so unbelievable the way she's telling it. The things, when she catches herself out, she doesn't let anybody do her laundry. We know that's not true. Casey never abused Amber with his words, but then in earlier posts, apparently Casey did. It's so unbelievable.
Yep.
And you don't want to say anybody's lying about something like this. You just automatically want to go, oh my God, it's true, it's horrible, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Apparently, Karina just posted a response to Amber's response, by the way. Don't worry. I won't be doing a reaction to that, at least like this. But, yeah, I'm definitely curious in what Karina's going to say about it. Oh, fuck. This is just... I'm not even halfway through this. I hope people will watch this. I do. I'll understand if they don't. But it's not easier watching it again. Like, I'm still feeling the shit I watched when I watched it the first time. Like that anger bubbling up and so I apologize for that, by the way. Um, there was a time where that was more me, and that's not really as much who I am anymore. But when I think, that someone's been done an injustice, or I just see something going on that's just wrong to me in any form, I get upset, and anger is usually my first, uh it's my first and loudest sort of reaction to it. It's better than getting physical, which was also something I used to do, but that was the environment I grew up in. For There was a time where I used to understand that, yeah, bullies were jerks and they'd say a bunch of shit, but if I actually, picked up something and hit them with it, or, knocked them down and stomped on them, or, this is kid logic also. But, if I took it to that next level, it would shock them enough and they'd leave me alone. And actually, it would work a lot of the time. They weren't prepared for feral Dessa. And I had to break out of that behavior, and it wasn't easy, because it was a shield, it was my safety net, it was my sword. When I really could only depend on myself to take care of myself. That's how I ensured that it would get done. So, I'm not saying my behavior is the right behavior to have necessarily. But sometimes when you see a bear roaring at you, it'll make you run the fuck away, and that's enough. If you understand.
Casey found out about Amber's video when people began sending the video to Casey's family. Casey would go on to make a video and live streams denying Amber's claims.
How fucked up is that, by the way? 6 years after the split up, Amber's at least 2 relationships past you. You guys occasionally talk on Facebook still. This is even according to Amber. So you don't think anything's wrong. You don't think anything's coming. And then a video like this drops. Casey's response video was every bit valid. That anger, that resentment, Casey, absolutely valid. You were blindsided. You were being used as a fucking prop. And that was totally wrong.
Today, I was told by my fiance, someone messaged her on Facebook, and it was a link to a video. It was a video of my ex. my ex Amber.
Also, Casey, you look good with the shaved eyebrow. I just wanted to let you know. I'm considering doing that myself. I also want to get my eyebrow pierced, but I never have the money to do that. But, yeah.
My fiance told me that she's calling me an abuser. And that got my blood boiling. Because that's not true. 100% not true. It pissed me off to no end. Everything in that video was such bull that I can't even describe the bull that was in that video. So it was probably 4 months after we started living together. We were up one night. I don't remember why we argued. I don't. But she grabbed my arm with her nails.
Okay, so it wasn't
First
here.
time. Any physical that was negative. And I remember that clearly. It shocked me.
Now, watching Casey's video, it's very different to Amber's. The use of language is different. Amber is very, I think, maybe. Memories are fading here.
We see this idea that words and phrases that leave options open are connected to lying, like using the words may or might, or the phrases I think so, or if I remember correctly.
I don't think she ever actually hit me in the face. Memories are kind of like fading here and there. This would happen probably weekly. I think what drew the line with me and Cassidy was...
So the idea here is that the individual is keeping their options open. So if they get caught in a lie, they can pivot and get away from that.
Whereas Casey is, I remember that clearly. There's a big difference.
I didn't know what to make of it, really. I'm 16 years old. I knew what physical was, but not really. I mean, I was a kid. I was a child. So I just assumed, okay, I made her mad. Now, the thing what she said with the laundry, that's a big false. Big false. Want to know how I know that? Because me and my mom would do her laundry. Me and my mom would go do laundry. She wasn't getting up to do laundry. She maybe did it a couple of times, a handful of times, probably counted on my one hand. She didn't do it all the time.
You probably had to beg her to do it.
And me dropping the bag and choking her, I never, ever did that. Ever. I mean, what's the reason for me to do that? I mean, I didn't do it. And I don't know where this story came from. I didn't do it at all.
She probably heard it from a friend.
Now,
she probably got it from a friend and decided to make it her own.
The places she said about being hit, those were on me. Those were the exact places she hit me. I was the one being abused. And I will say this, I may have laid a hand on her a few times. That was in self-defense. I didn't do it, and I damn well did not rape her. I did not rape her. Period. One time, when my mom and Dave were out, I don't know why we argued, but I was put on the bed. She wailed on me. Beat me real bad. I remember this clear as day. Memories are kind of like fading here and there. Our bed was in the living room. Next to the bed was a dresser. In front of the dresser was a table. Between the table and the bed was her over me, wailing on me. At that point, I was 17 years old.
Casey claimed that Amber...
See, again, even the spatial awareness, knowing where everything was in the room, like having that sort of specific detail, just in case people don't know what spatial awareness means, that lends more credit to Casey's side of things. Because, you know, it's those little details. Like, even again, if you can't remember everything, there are certain things that kind of have that hyper focus. Like the fact that for me when I was being specifically essayed. I was in a bunk bed. It was lower bunk. It used to be something that I enjoyed having because I could set it up as a bit of privacy. I took flat sheets and kind of tucked it so it was like, you know how people have those fancy Princess 4 poster beds? Instead, they helped hide things. But, you know, it's things like that. It's remembering the fact that that I had things like strawberry shortcake sheets. And like there are things that you remember. I'm so sorry, Casey. If you do watch this, I'm so sorry.
Was actually copying the abuse that he suffered. And it wasn't the only thing that Amber would copy.
She told me that she had anxiety. I suffer from anxiety. I suffer from panic and anxiety disorder. I was diagnosed with anxiety/panic disorder after I was diagnosed. So, today I'm gonna tell you guys my coming out story. This video is about my coming out story. My mom found out I liked girls because I wrote a love note to Lucy. I was writing a letter to my friend about her saying how I do like this girl, and I don't know how to tell my mom, I don't know how to tell my parents. And I left it in my pants, and she went to do laundry, and, well... The notes, I guess I never ended up giving it to my friend, and I left it in my pants pocket, and my mom did my laundry. She found it, so... You can only imagine what happened there. And I was trying to lie to her at first. I finally said yeah, but I did the safe route. At least I believe it was a safe route, and I came out as bisexual. I had to explain to her that no, I don't just like women, I am bisexual. Anyways, I'm coming out to parents. My mom actually found out through it.
By the way, how my mom found out I was bisexual. Well, I thought I was bisexual. You know, wasn't until I was in my 30s that I realized I was pansexual. So, in part 1 of this, I talk about the first time I went down on a girl of 14. But it wasn't the only time we did anything together. We remained friends for a long time after. We weren't dating, we were just fuck friends. But sometimes we did things out in public to, you know, moisten guys. Because we knew it drives guys nuts. And we were girls, so. But we were both bisexual. Or, you know, as we believed. Again, that's what I thought back then. Because cross-dressing was really more of a thing discussed, but transsexuality wasn't. This was 94, stuff like that. Like it wasn't talked about as much. So yeah, there was a gas station next to our apartment building, and I don't even remember why. But yeah, we were hanging out with some other people, and me and Tasha, we started making out. But then all of a sudden, I heard a gasp, and I hear feet starting to run up wooden stairs. Boom, 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 boom. And then I hear a door fling open, and Mom! Des is making out with a girl! Oh, and I knew my shit was blown up. I did not go upstairs right away. I just continued hanging out with people. You know, we all fucking started cracking up. They teased me. It was like, whatever. Because, I mean, I was a little bit nervous about it, but I had an uncle come out as gay when I was 8. So it wasn't even like it was going to be something new for my mom to necessarily deal with. So, it was later that night. We talked about it. And she was sober at that particular moment. So it was a good conversation. I don't know if she remembers having it or not. But I remember it. And she asked me about, was this something new, or if I thought I had felt that way for a while. And I told her that probably about age 10, 9, 10, I realized it wasn't just boys that I wanted to kiss. So, and she was like, well, I don't know that I can have Tasha sleeping over in your room anymore. I was like, that's alright, I'll just go crash over at her place. And I did a few times, but we moved a little bit after that, so we lost touch. I've tried finding her on Facebook since, so I don't know. Tosh, in the very fucking odd chance you've come across my channel, I mean, my name's the same on Facebook. I know you at least hung out with my mom after I moved, so maybe you follow her on Facebook, or what, my sister's, I don't know. I mean, so you can find me. I'm findable, but I mean, I hope you're doing okay. Every once in a while, I think about you, and I know your life was kind of crazy too during that stint. I wish I could have been around more to help you through it, but Mom's boyfriend Ed at the time, just shit got fucking too crazy and I had to move. So I'm sorry.
No, I wrote to a girl. Coming out to your parents, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. Really, it's you gotta trust that they'll understand. Oddly similar to what Amberlyn said about her coming out too. What do you mean? What's similar, Linda? What was the worst thing Amberlyn ever did to you? We got in an argument one night. And I forgot what the argument was about. And it was already dark outside. My mom and her boyfriend went home. All I remember was I wouldn't necessarily say thrown, but I fell back on the bench, just continued to hit. Like, God God, I was just like trying to at least block my face, but just hit, slap, and then she like slammed the door and took off walking to the store. That was the worst. That was the scariest and worst night ever. Her over me hitting me. I remember that clearly. I couldn't take it. Like, I didn't understand. Like, it just escalated. It escalated so quickly, and I didn't know what was going on. I was 16, 17, good 16, 17. Almost 18 years old. She left before I turned 18. I didn't know who would believe me. All I knew was my friends believed me because I would come to school with bruises up and down on my arm, trying to make excuses like, oh, I fell off my bike. Oh, I fell off my skateboard. My friends asked me, what's wrong? What happened to you? Eventually, they figured it out. So every time I would come to school, upset, in tears, Amber again, shrug, didn't say anything. My mom figured it out later on, but I'd have to hide it from her. Why? Because I didn't want her mad. I didn't want her upset. I didn't want her to worry about me. She had so much other things to worry about. And then I found out about it's got to do with get bruises. And then she would lie to me and say other stuff. In her video, she said your mom walked in on you beating Amber up. I never beat her up. No. And the thing about my mom throwing a glass ashtray at her head? No. She was very disrespectful to my mom. She threw a glass cup at my mom. It shattered on the wall. There was still a hole mark when they moved out because of that. Can your mom tell us her point of view of the ashtray incident? I don't forget what we were arguing about. I don't even know what you guys were arguing about. Maybe something. But she threw it and it ended up being all making a big hole. Yeah, it looked like, it was a glass one. It shattered on impact, too. Yeah, she said you threw it at her. Yeah. She would get mad and yell because of how disrespectful she was being, but she never laid a hand on Amber. Ever. Never. My mom's boyfriend and Amber didn't get along. There was a lot of fights. I defended Amber. Does she say that? No. Does she say how I defended her against everything else that was put her way? How I lost friends over defending her ways? No. Why? Because she wants to play victim.
According to Casey, there was more than just physical abuse.
When you were with Amber, was she emotionally abused? Not just physically, but emotionally? Yes, she was. Yes, she was. The story about that, how I learned that she was that as well, is because I was having anxiety attack. I called her. I stayed home from school that day. I called her. I was like really upset, and she yelled at me over the phone and made it seem like it was my fault. So, and it was a lot. It was a roller coaster of emotions. One time when I was getting ready for school, Amber went through my phone. Want to know how I know that? Went to school. My friend CJ sees me, punches me in the arm. What the did you give Amber my number for? What? I didn't give Amber your number. You don't like her. She don't like you. Why should she have your number? Shows me. My friend out. And I texted Amber. The f*** is wrong with you? What the hell? Why are you messaging CJ? How'd you get her number? I went through your phone while you're getting ready for school. When I would hang out with my best friend, Alex. She's been my best friend since high school. And all of a sudden, I get text messages an hour later, pushing me out for hanging out with her. She went as far as to accuse me of sleeping with my best friend. I couldn't understand why this girl that I cared about at one point was doing this. I couldn't. And I lost a lot of friends because I guess, I don't know if she did that to more of my friends.
Probably because she was already starting to find a place, trying to move on.
I still have a good amount of friends, but I don't understand the reason why she did that at all.
That's something they say about people who cheat, and I've personally found it to be true. That usually if someone's making the accusations against you, especially when there's no foundation for those accusations, like that you're cheating and stuff like that, and they seem so suspicious, it's usually because they themselves are cheating. And so they either think you are too, because, now they're not spending as much time with you, so they don't know what you're up to, or they just want to feel better about their own cheating. So if you're cheating too, then, well, whatever then. So my figuring is that at that point when she's making those accusations, she was at least already talking to other people, if not specifically talking to Crystal.
And she tried to take my friends as her own. She tried to make friends with my friends, but they seen how she was faster than I did, so no, she didn't take any of my friends. And the time, I love to draw. You guys see my drawings? What happened was, I was drawing a collage of Sailor Uranus. Like, let me get a paper. It was like as big as this. And we got in an argument, and what she did was, here, I'll use the baby thing as an example. What she did was she got a pencil, and she just wrote across it, and she locked herself in the bathroom. She ruined my picture. Like, it took forever to draw that, and she ruined it. I was told I should share this with you guys as my supporters. It was a list I made when I was in therapy. This is all the stuff that I had to deal with.
I'm smiling because I see a kitty in the background. Just thought I should explain.
So here's part of the list.
Now, it is hard to read, but some of the things on that list are: ask to cuddle, do whatever she asks, spoil her, do things she likes, don't bore her with my interests, don't talk much, speak when spoken to, don't spend money on myself, and don't make her repeat herself.
And this was especially the part where I thought it was normal to be hit. That was bad.
So somebody asks Amber a question on the website AskFM. They say, my husband hits me, but then says sorry, and then again gets violent because I can't forgive him so fast. He loves me to bits, otherwise what should I do? I hit him back too and called him names only because I was angry. And Amber's response: people do things and say things that they don't mean when they're angry. I'm not saying it's right, because it's not. I constantly say horrible things when I'm angry at someone. I then later regret it. Words hurt worse than fists do, but we all seem to never speak upon that kind of violence. I'm one of them because my honest opinion is never be with someone who abuses you all the time. I'm not saying physical violence is okay, but people do slip. A push, a shove, a scratch. If it happens once or twice, it's something you'll always remember, but it's something that just happened. It doesn't make you an abuser. But if it constantly happens, don't allow yourself to be in that situation. No one deserves it.
Again, if it's escalated to physical violence, the other types of abuse have already been going on. 99,999 times out of 100,000. There might be one where it's different. But that might be because that person's severely fucked up and just starts swinging. I don't fucking know, dude.
This I look at now. This was not a relationship. This was slavery. And at one point, I really did think it was normal to be hit. That was not right.
No. I'm so sorry.
According to Casey, Amber had been physically and emotionally abusive, and apparently had also been unfaithful as well.
When we were first dating, I got a message from her, upset. She made out with a girl while we were dating, while she was still in California.
I forgot about that.
The last time I cheated was about 16, 17 years old. I was in a long-distance relationship with, as you guys know, his name is Casey. Before we met each other in person, when I was, when I was a sophomore here, and she was still in California. And then Amber told me she out twice with one of her friends that was a girl in a hot tub. And so that hurt me. Where is the wildest place you have had sex? I have a dream, though. Hot tub dream. We don't need to discuss that hot tub dream, though. I actually posted on, what was it, Instagram. Sorry, I'm starting to... I posted on Instagram my yearbook.
You were so fucking disgusting.
It was like my yearbook quotes and like questions, like what do you love, blah, blah, blah. And at the time I put Amara because that was the name that he gave me for him. And when I filled that out, I was 17 years old. So yeah, I did cheat on him when I was 16. Did I get mad? I got upset, but I was 15. So what am I gonna do? Forgive, forget, you're my girlfriend. I was a child. When me and him were actually living together, I several times tried to break up with him, and then I would feel guilty and stay.
She felt guilty, so she stayed. I think reading between the lines, she had nowhere else to go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest.
So I
absolutely,
suggested,
Jimmy.
okay, let's be in an open relationship then, because I was not happy. I'm not going to get into why I wasn't happy, okay? Because we...
Oh, but you would never want to be poly, right, Amber? Right?
We already know, and yeah, so...
Amber felt comfortable enough with her and abuse to suggest an open relationship.
The open relationship thing, that I will talk about that. Yes, that was true, because I felt like if I allowed it would help us in a way. Again, I was young and dumb. When we're in an open relationship with Amber, or your whole relationship, or was it just after Crystal? It wasn't for our whole relationship. It started with the one I called Paige. I know it's not her name. Before Crystal, there was another girl. Well, she was with me. Her name was Paige or something. I know it was a 4-letter name. I'm just going to call her Paige because that's the name I remember. That Paige girl sent her money. Sent her a Walmart gift card. She sent her things. Yeah, while she was with me. We weren't supposed to know.
Probably because she lied and gave her sob stories.
And to a Crystal. Yeah, Amber and Crystal would flirt publicly. I know a lot of people keep getting that confused and say I cheated. Like, why would I online, like, openly cheat on my partner? That is the weirdest thing I've ever
Because you're
heard.
a horrible human fucking being.
And then she met Crystal. Now, she was talking to Crystal about 6 or 7 months before we broke up. No, actually, probably longer than that. Probably
Apparently
almost a
11,
year.
according to the video.
Almost a year before me and her broke up. We actually met online. At the time, I was in a relationship, and Crystal, I added her, I guess, and she sent me a message. She did flirt with me a little. I tried to explain to her I was in a relationship. I'm not like that. I do not cheat. I didn't want to cheat on my girlfriend. As time went on,
Liar.
the relationship I was currently in was really just going downhill. She made me realize what true love was, because I did fall in love with her. This might sound bad and crazy and weird, but with the permission of the girl I was with, she allowed Crystal to come and meet me.
When Crystal came to visit Amber in Arizona, Amber admitted through an Ask Them post that the two of them had been intimate during that time, even though Amber and Crystal were not supposed to be in an open relationship.
I don't know, we had sparks, and it just... I honestly never felt so happy in my life, and everything just was perfect, and I mean, I felt bad for the girl I was in the relationship with. there to witness it physically, the things that Casey put me through. And I wish so badly, I'm sorry, baby, I wish so badly that Crystal wasn't as shy as she was, because she's told me before, I would love to make a video, but I just can't, because she has a really...
Mr. Snowflake, if you see this, I really hope that you can reach out to Crystal and see if she can do an interview with you. I know I'm saying this with fucking dye on my face and looking a mess, but Crystal, if somehow you're seeing this, I think we need to know the truth. Like, when you first went to see her, when she was still living with Casey, what did she tell you? Did you really get the impression that there was some sort of abusive relationship going on? You know, what... Did she abuse you? I mean... This is why I think I really hope he can have interviews with all of the exes, because I think systemic might be the right word here, but it's going to be like a whole fucking rotted root system that's to be uncovered here, of all sorts of different abuses that every one of her fucking partners went through. I believe it's there. I absolutely believe it's there. She might have had to be a little bit more sneaky with Crystal, with her parents being in the house, but who knows? You know, they had a private bedroom, so I don't know what happened, literally behind closed doors. But I think it's important for people to know. And I know Crystal's probably wanted to just move on from it and live her life, but Crystal, she's doing this to others. She did it before you. She certainly did it after you. She's looking to do it again. Mark my words. So please, if you have things to shed light on, do so. I mean, watch the Casey interview. Mr. Snowflake he's a very kind and considerate guy to talk to about this stuff. Like, I really appreciate how he handled that interview with Casey. And I hope we really get to see the entire truth of this, because we can't trust Amber's narration. Not for a second.
About social anxiety.
She doesn't have to do a video. She could do a community post, a Facebook post. It doesn't have to be a video.
It's true. It doesn't have to be a video, but...
Amber keeps saying that Crystal saw firsthand how you treated her. What do you think she's talking about? Oh, I know exactly what she's talking about. It was when we were at the anime convention, and I like anime. I love anime. I'm a nerd. But we were at an anime convention, and I was having an anxiety attack. And me and Amber were still together, and I wanted my girlfriend at the time to comfort me, and Crystal got mad at it. Now, I understand why Crystal got mad about that, because Amber wanted to, spend time with her, and she came down for Amber, blah, blah, blah. But that's what it was. So whatever she told Crystal, she told Crystal. Crystal bought her so many things when we were together. So many things.
Crystal would even pay Amber's phone bill, something Amber had complained about previous when Amber's foster mother paid the bill late.
The one that stands out, because it's the most messed up one, was the freak.
Wait. How was Amber's foster mom paying Amber's phone bill if Amber hadn't even been living with the foster mom for years? Like, she was living with grandma and mom before Casey. It's not mathin'.
Can I pod touch? She was on the phone with her. Like, there was an argument starting. So she goes outside talking to her. Comes in, I made her cry. What happened? What made her cry? What the hell? Crystal was gonna buy her an iPod Touch. The argument was over how much gigabytes it had. And she got mad.
Fucking
because
Christ.
Crystal asked, do you want this certain gigabyte or the 32 one? You know, the highest one. And she told Crystal, asking me that is like asking if you want a pink purse. She was so rude about that. It wasn't just, she went off after saying the pink purse thing. She went off on this poor girl and made her cry. It was over $200. Over $200 this girl is spending on Amber. That's not even with her yet. You should just be grateful for what you're getting. Why are you being like this?
6 months after Crystal visited Amber, Amber made a Facebook post claiming she was now officially in an open relationship. 2 days after posting about her new relationship status, Amber and Casey would break up, and Amber would be headed to Virginia to be with Crystal. This further backs up Casey's claim that their open relationship had ended after Amber's fling with Paige. Now, Amber likes to claim that the last time she cheated on anybody was when she was 16 years old. However, according to Amber's own Facebook posts, she cheated on Casey with Crystal when she was in her 20s. So, Casey and Amber enter an online relationship. Amber cheats on Casey with a girl in a hot tub before they meet. Casey and Amber begin an in-person relationship. Then Amber cheats on Casey with this Paige girl. Amber and Casey then enter a brief open relationship, and the open relationship ends after Paige and Amber break up. Amber then meets Crystal online. Amber and Crystal flirt publicly on Facebook, despite what Amber says. Crystal comes to Arizona to meet Amber. Amber admits her and Crystal were intimate. Then Amber and Casey enter another very brief open relationship, and 2 days later, Amber and Casey break up, and Amber heads to Arizona to be with Crystal.
I just had to clarify that I'm not a cheater, and
Absolutely you are.
I'm 32 years old, and I haven't cheated since I was 16.
Liar.
That's a lie.
After 4 years of dating, their terrible relationship would finally come to an end.
I was a senior in high school. We had the homecoming party, whatever. I was a part of the anime club and the LGBT club, so I was doing things for both of us. I ended up staying late because there was a dance afterwards, but I didn't want to go to the dance. But I ended up staying late, and I came home. We got in a huge argument about me being out late. That's what led us breaking up. Was that fact? And she broke up with me that night. Went with Crystal next day. That was it.
That's not why she broke up with Casey. It's because she had in the wings Crystal.
Yep.
I don't know if Crystal had to buy you 2 plane tickets. All I know is we broke up. The next day, she gets in a cab to the airport. She's with Crystal. She moved in with Crystal.
Now, a week after the breakup, Amber posts to Facebook saying how losing Casey is like losing a best friend. And that doesn't sound like... It's a totally different version, isn't it, from the video she's made
She
here.
says that
It
with
sounds
every
like she's just
ex.
escaped with her life. This horribly relationship.
It's like
for 4
losing my
years, she's
best
escaped with her
friend. I'll
life,
never
just
love
get
like
out,
that
and
again.
then a week later, I'm losing my best friend. So there's reasons why I doubt this story, and that's a big one. They may have broken up, but this would not be the last time the pair would speak.
I mean, she came to me after freaking 3 years of not talking. 4 years of not talking. I get a random message from her one day after her and Crystal broke up. And I'm like, why are you messaging me? Because you were an important part of my life. And I said, at one point, not anymore. I got a few messages after that, and I tried to help her with Destiny, the whatever thing.
Despite Amber claiming to have been in an abusive relationship and multiple times, Amber unbelievably messaged Casey asking for sex tips. I know this is probably weird, but I really need to talk about this. So you're still the only person I've let touch me. I never even let Crystal, even after all the time we were together. I was too scared, too self-conscious, etc. I really want Destiny, the girl I'm going to be with, to be the next person I allowed to do that to me. I'm scared though. Like, what do? I feel like I smelled bad when you did it to me. I shower every day now, so I'm different than I used to be. But it still worries the out of me. Again, I know this is so weird.
Which proves she didn't shower every day when
I trust
she was with Casey.
To talk to about this, though. Actually, the only person. And Casey replied, okay, I'm at a loss for words.
She's asked for sex tips.
It is unbelievable.
That's bad.
No, I believe my last message on there was embarrassing enough. And yes, I was undecided about posting it because it is embarrassing. But that showed I didn't like her, so I had to. I didn't want to. I mean, that was the proof right there.
There's even a post where Amber says that rapists should get the death penalty. But then Amber is talking to Casey on Facebook and thinking she's the only person I can trust with tips.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she wants Casey put to death after she's gotten the tips.
She's just going to have to Google BBW sex tips. I know some good sites. Text me.
Casey would go on to share more screenshots from Amber after his rebuttal video.
Text me.
WTF. You know that you're lying in that video. No one knew who you were. No one knew who I was talking about in that video. I'm not sure why you'd post a video about that. I wasn't putting you on blast. I didn't want anyone knowing who you were. I deleted the video I made because I did not make it to attack you. I made it to share my story. You know exactly what you put me through, Cassidy. Julia knows, Crystal knows, Destiny knows. Even your mom knows, but she'll never admit it.
Who's Julia?
Stick together, right? Anyways, the video is down because that's a moment in my life that I'll never forget. You might have regretted our relationship, but I don't. I sure as hell am affected by the shit you did.
How do you
me,
not regret a
but you can't go back
relationship?
and change any of it. I just wish you luck and really hope you'll start admitting to the lies you're throwing everywhere. It's disgusting. I will be contacting YouTube because you have my full name in your YouTube video title, and that's against the law for the purposes you're using it.
No, it's
you're
not.
Lying, bullying, and using my full name when I didn't use yours. Delete the video before it gets deleted for you. I deleted mine out of respect for all parties. We seriously need to talk about this because it's gone too far and it's not fair to either of us. After we talk, we don't ever have to talk to each other again. All I've been doing is crying because people on the internet have the audacity to seriously act the way they are. They're saying horrible things to the both of us and snooping in all our business.
She is blocked. She is blocked on everything. The last thing I ever got from her, where's my phone? September 16th, 2016. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Amber was upset that people were messaging Destiny's family when it was Amber who started this all, and Casey only found out about the video from people messaging his fiancée.
Okay, I'm gonna address Amber. If she's watching this, you have the potential to do great things in life. It's never too late to change in life. Be honest. Be honest with your fans, your subscribers. Be truthful. Don't lie.
Even after all that had happened, Casey still wanted the best for Amber and wanted her to be honest with her fans, for once. However, this was never going to be the case.
This is really hard. I'm not a liar.
I understand how you feel, Casey. I still kind of feel that way about my mom, even though we really don't talk. It's weird when she occasionally says she's proud of me on Facebook, when she sees my statuses about my weight loss and stuff like that. Yeah, it is a weird situation to be in. But it's not like I want my mom just to have shitty things happen to her. You know, I want her to have a good life, but when she realized she couldn't get money or a place to live out of me, she basically stopped having really anything to do with me. So that told me what I needed to know. So yeah, technically Amber has every capacity to change. The question is, will she want to? I don't think she does. I'm very sorry to say that. But for as much as she says, I've changed, I've grown, she hasn't. Casey, you've seen that. I see it. And hell, I've only started watching all of this unfolding just a few months ago. And I can see it. She likes using people. She may love it as much as she loves herself. She gets a thrill out of it. Just as much as she does eating. She's not giving up overeating. She's not. She doesn't want to. She says that she does, but I mean, she doesn't help herself. She expects everyone to do everything for her because she just wants to use people. That people are just props. People are just pawns. People are just things to her. Just like her animals, just like her things. The things are just things. Amber is the center of her universe, and I don't think anything will ever change that. Ever.
I lied here.
Lie.
I was protecting my feelings as much as I could. I wanted to protect Becky. Becky and I agreed that we would say that she bought the engagement rings. I know it's selfish of me to do. I do have a list of things I want to talk about. I never said my dad was dead. Never said that at all.
That's a lie.
What's the biggest lie you've ever told? That my dad died. I was young and stupid. I wanted attention from a certain friend. It was honestly the most immature lie I have ever told as well. Not cute.
So, if you guys remember my aunt situation, this was when I uploaded a video about how my aunt doesn't talk to me anymore because I'm fat. How old were you?
I was like 11.
Oh my god! Wait, that's around the same time where I lied about my middle name. I pushed her away because of just who I am and how I am as a person.
Really?
Yeah, okay, listen, you guys. I was in an all-girls group home, and they were like, is Amberlyn your first name? Ugh. I told you guys that Destiny has not gained weight since she's been with me. And I'm like, no. I mean, yes. And then they were like, okay, so what's your middle name? I had to think of something really quick. But she has gained weight since she's been with me. Katie.
Wow, that's random.
Amberlyn Katie Reed. I have been trying to protect her feelings. If you are trying to protect someone and you are lying to protect them, no. No. Something else I've lied about is the job I had in Florida. I lied to you guys and said I was a full-time. I wanted you guys to be proud of me.
Just a quick little video. I've just seen Amber's Instagram Q&A thing, because somebody asked her, do you still stand by your comments where you defended on Ask FM years ago? It's not a matter of you can't help how you feel. Actually, it is. It's a sickness, just like cancer, or depression, or obesity. It's a sickness. You cannot control sickness. You can get help, but that only goes so far. And to justify it, Amber says that she was by a father's friends. Amber, on your Ask FM, you've got two totally different stories about you being, and it's not your father's friends.
You gotta keep your fucking story straight, girl.
Doing a little series on the second channel, reading out the Ask FM stuff and trying to make it funny and silly. But while going through that, there's been some pretty horrible things she said. One of them was she was defending. Pedophilia is not like cancer or depression or obesity. It is not like that. You're talking some, because they are not comparable. Look into it. As a victim, I know, and it's not like that. It's evil and wrong and should not be treated with sympathy.
PDF files are a tricky thing. Part of it is a continuation of a cycle of abuse. Typically, that's where it tends to stem from. Those who were abused will then usually then continue on to abuse. There's also, in part, it's kind of a fetish, like how people have a thing for feet, stuff like that. I'm in no way condoning it. Don't misunderstand. But it is a sickness. There are nuances to it. You can have the desires, but not give in to them. There are people that apparently live their lives like that, and I think if any of them were to watch this, I think you have tremendous willpower. And as a survivor, I appreciate that you are not making new victims. Because in the end, kids can't consent. They can't. Even if they think they can, they can't. And if they can, that's because they've been previously essayed and they were way too young and they were brought into the world of adulting way too soon, like myself. I started getting into relationships like that way too young. I could handle it, and I did. I had very mature relationships before I should have. But it is what it is. So PDF files are nuanced. It can be categorized. It's almost 8:30. I'm tired, and I still need to eat. It can be seen as a disease, like alcoholism and stuff like that. Because so far as I understand, it is something that won't go away. That desire. But I mean, it doesn't mean you have to give into it. Just like alcoholism or other substance abuses and things of that nature. You don't have to. You don't have to do it. You can live a normal life. Maybe don't have kids of your own, though. But, there's other things you can do. Pretty much everything else. So I just wanted to give my own thoughts on that, especially because, again, of what I went through. The abuse, I went through every form of abuse as a child. So I don't think my opinions are going to necessarily be unique, but because I was on that side of the fence, I thought I'd share.
First of all, don't play victim with someone who has been there, done that. Thank you. Secondly, your opinion is your opinion and mine is mine. Get over it. So when that uploaded, people went to Amber's Instagram and said, do you still stand by the comments you made about Leah on Ask FM in 2014? Amber says, trigger warning and trauma dumping. No, I don't. I was 22 years old, trying to understand how people can be so awful. I was actually assaulted by my father's friends when I was younger and talked about this in therapy recently, about how I wish I could understand why those things happened to me. I won't ever understand. These people are sick and forever deserve prison time. In 2014, I was 22. I think she was 23, but I was 22 and highly trying to make excuses for what happened to me. I saw this. She says, father's friends. And it was very different to what she said on Ask FM. So I made a video. So people, and I know people went to Amber's Instagram and asked her about, are there two different stories? Can you clarify what's this? And she's blocked lots of them. Blocked them all, blocked me. Yeah, and then this is very soon after, she clearly asks herself this question. It sounds like she asks herself this question on a Q&A. She says, I was altered and over time I was able to remember things I couldn't before. Amber says, I'm so sorry you experienced that. I also completely relate to this. My therapist has taught me more about how trauma can mess with your memory pretty bad, and recounting the events that gave you trauma don't always look the same each time because you sometimes remember all the details and sometimes you don't. Just remember not to be hard on yourself. I beat myself up way too much in the past about the SA I've experienced in my life and my memories around it. I'm just grateful for my mom because I told her about it when I was 12 And from that point on, I had someone in my corner. I was afraid to tell anyone else. If you or someone you know is experiencing an essay, please talk to someone and never feel ashamed of what happened or how your memory chooses to handle the trauma. So she's saying there, you might remember the details differently. But what Emma said is very different. On Ask of Em, somebody says, how old were you when you were, and who did it? Emma says, I was 6 and it was my cousin. So it's not father's friends. So that's remembering the details.
That's
Very
vastly different.
Then there's another one. How old was your cousin and what was the outcome? Did he go to jail? She did not go to jail because we didn't turn her in. She was a young adult. I really don't want to talk about it anymore. So there's another different detail. So we didn't turn her in, so it was a cousin. Another one. The person who you, were they a family member or someone you just trusted or neither? Emma says a family member, yes. And the next one, what's the most disturbing thing that has ever happened to you? And again, Amber says I was when I was 7. So that's very different from my father's friends did it. I don't also say it's very different.
Maybe you should start keeping a notebook on your lies so you can keep track of them.
There you go anyway. Very, very different.
You lied about SA. No, I didn't. I was with my cousin when I was 7 years old. I was 7 years old and I did not tell my mom till I was 12. Your cousin or father's friend? Wait, what?
Oh, I think she's forgotten what she posted.
Your cousin or father's friend? Wait, what?
She's the one who said my father's friends. She's obviously forgot.
No, it was not my dad's friend. It was a cousin. And when it comes to like sexual harassment, a lot of my dad's friends, yes.
Harassment? I thought you said assault. Let me have a look at the post. I was sexually assaulted by my father's friends. She's got me doubting myself.
But I was never like, from what I remember, memories are kind of like fading here and there. I was never sexually or physically touched by my father's friends. No. I was actually molested by a female.
Is it just me, or did you say that really weird?
Yep.
I was actually molested by a female. So it was not a he. Oh, me saying it was my dad's friend, 100,000%. I said that for a long time. Yes, I did. Because this cousin lived with me and my parents and my brother. So for a long time when I was younger, like especially my teenage years, I did say it was someone that was not related to me. Yes, I did.
So
I thought you didn't tell
she
anybody.
said it was her father's friends when it wasn't, but then it did later on. I think. I'm confused.
Yes, I did. Miss Natalie, I think you were confused. I said I was molested by a cousin, but I was really, like harassed. I don't know the best way to describe that by a lot of my dad's friends while I was a teenager. Yes.
No.
Said assaulted. Definitely said assaulted, not harassed. Assaulted, which is all serious claims.
So when I say that my dad's friends sexually like assaulted me, I mean that in the sense of like sexually harassed me. It's not assault. Thank you. That is a completely different situation.
Type deal?
Compared to when I was molested, when I was a child. That is a completely different story.
But that's definitely not what Amber said. She said assaulted, not harassed, assaulted. And they're two very different things.
When you were harassed by your dad's friends as a teenager, did they ever touch you? So trigger warning, they would like touch my leg, like mess with my hair, like put it behind my ear. I was never sexually or
there's no trigger warning needed because you're fucking
friends.
lying.
So now there's no sexual anything.
I was never.
For the record, there are certain movies and stuff like that I can't watch because if they are kind of being specific with the, like, they're not being gratuitous with the essay, but if they're showing it enough, I at least can't watch that scene. Like, I remember when I was younger, there's this movie with Sally Fields and Kiefer Sutherland called Eye for an Eye. And Kiefer is playing basically a scumbag rapist, like criminal. And the opening of the movie is he basically assaults and murders Sally Field's daughter. And that plays out right in the beginning of the movie. And so the rest of the movie is about how she basically plots her revenge. She tracks him down, sees how he does things, and I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but that opening, I still can't watch it. It's not graphic, but there's enough of the struggle, there's enough of the sounds, the detail, like that's triggering for me. So the fact that I can hear Amber talk about this stuff and it doesn't increase my anxiety feelings, like, it's part of my bullshit meter. It's not even lifting a little. Well, I should say my trigger meter isn't going. Like, my bullshit meter is definitely kicking over to the other side. I have different meters. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. Because there are instances where media and people discussing things has triggered me, but not this.
Or physically touched by my father's friends. No.
Does she not think people are going to look back something she wrote a week earlier and compare it to this video? She keeps everything up.
Touch my arm, brush against me on purpose. I was never or physically touched by my father's friends. No. So I was physically essayed when I was 6 or 7 years old. It was my cousin who did it, and she was a female. So then in a Q&A on Instagram, I said that I had, like, when I lived with my dad, when I was 14, my dad had a lot of, like, men who were on lots of different types of drugs. Sorry, I'm starting to get a little flustered. When I said that they would essay me, when I used the A word, assault.
Don't tell me she's about to redefine the word assault. She isn't she? Oh, God.
I consider harassment as an assault. Assault just means you made someone scared. So again, I'm going to read that again. Assault just means you made someone scared.
No.
Unless it's in the dictionary, I'm not going to go with Amber's definition. Wrong. Oh, look, the definition of liar. It's the photo of Amber's face.
As a 14-year-old girl being hit on men in their 30s, I was terrified. I was scared all the time. So for someone, a man, Snowflake, to be questioning if I went through that as a little girl, as a 6 and 7-year-old, and B, as a teenager who was 14, you are disgusting. You are everything wrong in this world. Because those stories are true, and they did happen to me.
No, they didn't.
And this is why victims do not speak up. And again, people are twisting my words, and that'll continue to happen.
No.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time she's used the wrong word.
What did I think about Amber's poem?
Can you explain the
I can
rain and
queef
petals
better
eavesdrop
poems,
poem?
okay?
Yes. I went through something. I decided to share
No,
my
that's not
journey
true.
of
I really
an
can't
abusive
queef on
relationship,
command.
and my ex decided to deny all of it, which I don't blame him, because why would you confess? No one confesses to being abusive. So I got scared because so many people were thinking I was lying. I became ashamed of sharing my story and scared. So I deleted the video. So I ended up filming I think it was like a 23-minute video, kind of replying to his rebuttal. And so after I filmed it, in my gut, I felt like this isn't right. I personally don't want to keep going back and forth. So the best way for me to express how I feel is poetry. Speaking Up by Amber Lynn Reed. Let's see. Who does everyone believe? Let's start gambling our life, rolling dice like knives on a platter. Using my name to put yours on lights? No, I am not perfect in any way. Just admit you were wrong and play a different song. My life is my story, but yet you've written a chapter. I am my own narrator, yet you stole the pen to deny, to lie. Seems to me that the only quote that people mention, here are the facts. You lied about your name right off the bat, but still called me insane, is the one where I did admit RAPE, rain and petals eavesdrop. I used the wrong word. That maybe I did use the wrong word. Rain and petals eavesdrop. I used the wrong word. Rain and petals eavesdrop. I used the wrong word.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Coerced?
Come on.
Why can she never say that word right?
Coerced?
Coerced. Coors Light. Sponsored by Coors Light.
Coerced, which is where you are forcing someone to do something that they don't want to do. I've just had a hard time with this whole thing. I've cried, I've laughed, I've loved, I've lost. It's been really horrible for me. I've grown, I've learned, I've moved on, healing along the way. If you go back and listen to the poem, you guys will hear in that poem that I didn't lie.
Yes, you did.
What you did and saying you didn't, and that he was the one who was lying. Such a lovely story.
That's completely unforgivable. Casey now has to go through the rest of his life with a small percentage of people, but still people thinking he's a... all because she used the wrong word. It's unforgivable. Amber just thought, oh, I didn't say Casey's, but people who have been following Amber up to this point knew exactly who she was talking about. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yep.
And it kind of feels like she's gotten away with it. She's still making videos, she's still on the internet. The story, that the video has just lies you can prove, and people still believe, the rest of it still believe that the rape and the abuse.
Don't believe anything that fucking comes out of her mouth.
What's even worse is there's a clip out there of Amber singing the poem.
Rain and petals eavesdrop.
She was singing this poem that's about being...
Pa.
And it was on a live stream, I think. Yeah, it was. During a live stream.
What the fuck?
She's singing this poem about being... It's insane. It's insane. Oh God, she's singing about being...
Pa.
Even after all their time together, and after Amber asking for sex tips, Amber still didn't have any respect for Casey as a person.
Now, I did try to come out to her as transgender before, and she just did not have it. She was mad about it. So when I went to go tell my fiance, I was scared to death. Why? Because of the way Amber acted when I tried to tell her.
Little beard. I hate that bald patch. See that? See that? I had an ex-girlfriend named Cassidy. She did not look like a girl. She taped on her boobs on purpose, so they'd always think that was a boy.
It's called binding.
Because I'm not into that. You have to be like, I don't like him like that.
You fucking pleb.
When they asked me that, why it wasn't just, why didn't I just stay a girl just like the guys? Because that's not what I am inside. That's not what I feel inside. I want my inside to match the outside. Your ex said you got mad when he came out of trans. Let me tell. Like, I get heated.
I've honestly not seen anyone less traumatized from an abusive relationship.
When people bring that up, oh my god. Literally, he was not trans when we were together. Ugh. I'm sorry. I'm just...
First of all, obviously he was. But second, I mean, especially with the binding, what the fuck? And also the whole Sailor Uranus thing should have also been an indicator. But you probably didn't take much of an interest in what Casey liked. I almost guarantee that. So fuck you, Amber. And also, I'm gonna put it out. I'm pretty sure Amber's a TERF, guys, and in case you're not aware of what that stands for, because in times previous when I've mentioned it, like talking on other people's live streams and stuff, it's trans exclusionary radical feminist. So basically, it's women who believe in feminist rights, but not for all women, because they don't believe that trans women are women. I believe that when people transition, they are the gender they are. They go through such a drastic change to become that new gender, that metamorphosis. And there's also so much more to it. There's the fact that trans people get that increased harassment. They apparently are subjected to more attacks, both physically, verbally, and sexually. It's appalling what they have to go through to be who they really feel inside. And so for people to tell them that they're not really, they're still not who they are, or that they're nothing, like Amber's behavior about Casey's identity is appalling. Absolutely. And Casey, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for Amber and for anyone else who's treated you that way. It's not right. Especially with my particular generation, Gen X. I've heard that there's a lot of people in my generation that seem to have a hard time understanding this or acknowledging. But I mean, it doesn't seem that difficult for me to understand. But I mean, I've read, about the science behind it, the whole thing with the hormones and the progression they've made on both top and bottom surgery for both genders, and it's these people just want to exist in the bodies that feel like them. And so to belittle them or consider them in any way lesser especially for us women, when we're treated that way constantly, it's appalling. Absolutely. So, again, for anyone watching this, don't treat anyone trans that way. Men or women. They deserve to be who they are. So long as they're not hurting anyone, and usually they're not. So, and don't believe what the Republicans say about the fact that they're doing it just so they can go into bathrooms and attack children. Because, more times than not, when you're hearing about someone being sexually assaulted, it's a Republican fucking politician doing it. Okay? Look at Matt Gaetz. Look at other older ones. They're either shuffling them around like the whole Catholic priest thing, or it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. They're projecting. So I won't say that it doesn't happen at all, because there's usually a bad apple in there somewhere. But it doesn't have to do with their gender. I still don't know what to think about Chris Chan. I'm not sure if they're really trans. It'd be nice if someone could help me out with that. But what happened with Chris Chan's mom and them, and I don't know. And there's the whole they think they're God thing. It just, that is a big ball of fucking corroded necklaces that I don't know I'll ever be able to untangle. So, okay, we're almost done, guys.
You misgender people. It was one person who literally said that they don't care if they get called he or she. It was a f***ing accident. Like, people literally just
bullshit. Like, they probably said that to make you feel better at the time.
You know this person. That's the funniest of it all.
I think it's very clear who's come off worse out of that relationship. And it's not Amber.
Oh, my neck is so tense now.
I was in a freaking... I'm trying to calm down. When me and Amber broke up, I was distraught. Because that was the first serious relationship I ever had. I was so messed up from the mental, verbal abuse. I had to go and see psychiatrists because I was having anxiety attacks every day. I couldn't even be in my classroom. I had such mental issues from being with her that I ended up for a weekend, from Friday to Monday, in a mental hospital.
I don't like to relive all that. I still relive it, like, every so often. Like, if someone tries to reach for something, like, over my head, like, just to get, like, cereal or something, I flinch. I down myself a lot. And all those feelings come back tenfold, knowing I could be in the same room as her, in a courtroom with her. I don't like it. It makes my anxiety go up.
But that was it. I was so messed up from her.
I have very, very low self-esteem. I don't feel smart.
I'm still messed up from this.
I feel worthless and stupid sometimes. Or just like, no one cares.
I don't know what to...
I care.
I know you're not supposed to say you regret anything, but I do regret that relationship. Full-heartedly, immensely, because of everything that happened in it. I don't care to be her friend. I don't care to talk to her. I just want to be left alone. And I want her to quit trying to destroy my life. Quit trying to make herself look like a victim. I know she was in foster care. I understand that. But she acts like the world owes her stuff. And I hate to say it, and I hate to sound mean, I'm not trying to bash any of you guys who were in foster care or had a bad life, but the world doesn't care what you went through. I regretted staying through. If I could go back in time and slap my 15-year-old self, I would. I would. So.
I might cry about it now, but I've healed. I have, but it's definitely like memories that make me sad.
You have
but
nothing to fucking heal from.
And I'm stronger because of it, and I've learned because of it, and I know the bad in my life made me wiser.
Oh my god, we watched Casey's video, me, Dana, Destiny, and Becky all together. This was probably a little over 2 weeks ago, and Destiny was clapping back. Destiny's like, that's a lie, that's not true.
I don't know. I don't want to get into all that. I don't know. You know, like, I just know what she has told everybody else. So, I mean, I don't know. And the person, her ex, the evidence video that they posted, I didn't know that she was messaging them. Plain and simple. I did not know that till she posted that video. So.
That's why, again, I think it's so important.
It's not fair, and this is something I deal with all the time because you Google my name.
That's why I think it's so important that these episodes continue and that hopefully Mr. Snowflake can get the other exes to do interviews as well. For Destiny to say that they didn't know that Amber had actually been communicating with Casey through Facebook during their relationship, or at least at the beginning of it. Yeah, there's obviously some fuckery going on, and it should just be all aired out, because we can't rely on Amber to do it, and I don't want to see someone else fall into this. And as much as I'm upset with her, what if the next person Amber hooks is someone who's really unstable, and Amber pushes them too far with the gaslighting and the abuse, and they snap and they do something to her, something that can't be undone, like permanent. I don't think she's done anything to earn that. At least that I know of. So, yeah, I think this is very, very important.
And the accusations, and it just sucks. I'm sitting over here, best friends with Crystal, who is my ex. I'm sitting over here, super, super good friends with Destiny, who is also my ex.
Not anymore.
Do you think that if I ever abused Cassidy, that
Casey?
Because when people, someone, they several times, and I would also Crystal, I would have Destiny. Do you think that Crystal and Destiny would still be my friends? The thing is, if I was lying, I would have never said her name. I would have never said her name if I was lying. That already is a bad choice. I would have been like, so this one girl I was with, and I would have made the story a lot more entertaining.
No, you just didn't expect clapback.
I didn't start this, I'll use the word journey. I didn't start this journey of making videos about Amber, trying to turn people against her. I genuinely thought I'm going to turn the haters into fans. She had plenty of haters. I thought I'm going to make a nice series about her, show all the good that's in her, and it's going to turn it all around for her. We're going to help her lose the weight. She's going to have loads of fans. She's going to be the best version of herself. It'll be a great success story. What an idiot I was.
Snowflake just feels a bit stupid for the whole thing.
And I was an idiot because everybody warned me. And most people did. And I thought, no, they're wrong. I can sense the good in her.
The whole Snowflake Amber thing reminds me of Star Wars, where Luke thought there was still some good in Darth Vader, and he finds good in him.
And it ruined my reputation a little bit, because not everybody, but there was a few
Yeah,
people
Amber's
saying,
more like Palpatine, Jimmy. I'm
this
sorry.
is a bad move for you, Snowflake. Kind of be pally with her and associate with her. It's not a good look. And they were right. It wasn't a good look, but I just thought I could do some good with her. No, nothing.
And I'm done with it now. My joy and fun with the whole Amber thing we were trying to do, it's just faded. Gone. Just like me t-shirt. Faded.
I've watched every video on her YouTube channel multiple times because of the editing for the Ship by the Algorithm series I've done. I've watched every video. I've seen all of her Facebook posts, all the Ask FM posts, Tumblr, everything. I've seen everything she's done online. And people were right and I was wrong. There's no good in her. Some people will still be a fan. Even after this, will be people out there who still support her, still think she's amazing.
Then they're horrible people.
But if you think she's amazing, wait till we get the crystal.
I mean, I even sent her a message, God, maybe 5-6 years ago when she was with Crystal, saying, I hope you don't do to Crystal what she does to me. I wish I never deleted that message, because in that message she admitted she had Crystal once.
Hope you're well. Thanks very much, Amber. And baby, out.
Oh. Wow. And I decided to go through all that on a fucked up sleep schedule, no less. Okay, I am fucking... My stomach's getting ready to growl. I'm also feeling a bit exhausted. Oh, it is 9:04 in the morning on December 28th. Yeah, I think that's an autism thing. I keep doing it. So, again, I don't think people are gonna really watch these. But if you do, and you would actually like me to react to the interview, please drop it down in the comments. Because actually I'd like to. I might anyway, but I don't know. I'm trying to, get engagement, of course. And if you like, if you liked my videos, please hit the thumbs up. Again, I am going to ask also for a subscribe. I kind of want to rename my channel, and I found out I have to have 100 subscribers in order to do that. So, Diary of a Recovering Fatty, help me make that possible. Or if you have a better option, drop that down in the comments. Thank God this year is almost over. Or, well, whoever you believe. I'm just used to saying that. It's just a thing people say. Yeah. So, I love all your faces. Hope you got better sleep than I did. And I will So do another video soon. Bye.